example, uh, you know, people just things like cause it to rain and stuff like that. It common occurrences, right?
Yeah.
To part the sea is not a common occurrence.
No.
And the reason why he parted the sea was that it's not what a person knows. It was that the Jewish reflections around him gives him power to do it.
The what?
The biggest here's the thing that count. The isolated, out in the desert out four sides, right? Let me go to the beginning. You got your sleeping dream, right? When you sleep, you dream, right?
Yeah.
And you wake up, da 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 da. This is a waking dream. That's the difference between the
Yeah, I
two.
remember you talking about that before.
Yeah, and the difference is that in a waking dream, the thing, the distance between two reflections makes a difference. So when they get closer together, right, they have to share the dream. When they get far apart, each one's got more individual of the dream. Yeah.
That's hard to follow.
Yeah, but if you go through the Bible, everything from beginning to end, everything fits that same mold. See, and that's why Moses had the most being because he was isolated in a desert, and they had water, and the biggest group of people were the Jews, and they was enslaved by the Pharaoh, right? I mean, the numbers are very big, and so Moses got his power to do all this, not for what he knew, but all the reflections gave him power to do all that.
I don't know what you mean by that.
You understand that?
No.
Oh, yeah. So, and that's why he could do those things. But individually, what a person knows doesn't give anybody any more power than anybody else.
What do you mean by the reflections, though?
Oh, because you got 10 people here, right?
Yeah.
You got one person here. We all have reflections in our dream to control. If this is one dream, and you got the waking dream, and we dream it together.
Yeah.
See, and then if that's the only one, if she dies, there's nothing too. I realize that sometimes when or if you ever had a dream where you had control over it,
Yeah, sometimes.
sometimes
Yeah.
that place that you visit then control. If what happens is that you passed out while you were dreaming, and you have that controlling dream. Oh, yeah, you didn't know that, did you? But,
No.
okay, and then if something happens that you kick the bucket, right? That waking dream becomes your next place of existence. Yeah, yeah. But then if you wake up,
How does that work?
Huh?
How does that work?
Because it makes because we're all individual, and if you went out there in space sometime and you're all by yourself, your dream would be whatever you think of, you control. And if two people did it, they have to share it. See, for example, Adam. Now, you go back to that. Yeah, 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 he could have came from someplace else. You can't always say everything what the Bible says. You know what I mean? The beginning of life. No, no, life. See, the thing is this: we all live in the ever-present now, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So the now has no ending, and now has no beginning. The now is the now, 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 now. And so within it's Moses, the first reception came here, and this one here. But like you said, you pass away. Sometimes you could end up in a place all by yourself because there's no end to the existence in all directions. Because if you go out in any place, the now is still now. There's no time between. It's not like light. It takes time to get to point A and point B. Now it's still a now. Doesn't matter how far you go out. This whole thing is just but a dream, and we all live within the now. There's no end to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can kind of follow that.
Yeah. See, and so that's the same thing with everything in the Bible. You go from the end. So when Adam came here, he could have came from non-existence and all type of other things. You can't exactly believe that he was created there, but in a sense he was, But then once he was created there, and it was his dream then, and then when the second person came by, the female creature in our reflection, the closer they got together, the more they have to share the dream.
Yeah.
See?
So what about when there's 7 billion of us like now?
The same thing. We have to share the dream. It's kind of hard to, and people don't realize that. But if people get like that sickness that's killing 1 million people, right? Everybody believes in that
Yeah.
because of that. Everybody believes in that. People don't realize that power exists. No one realizes. Even Mary Baker Eddy, I'm supposed to be a Christian Scientist. The only reason I contain that because it gives me, if somebody tries to force some type of thing against me, I can take them to court and charge them with treason. See, because the First Amendment.
You can take who to court?
Anybody try to force me to believe in a doctor or anything like that,
yeah.
I can turn around and charge them with treason against the First Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the only reason I continue to be a Christian Scientist because of that protection. But but it's hard to explain. But everything from the Bible, from the beginning to end, this factor comes up all the time, even today, like music, for example. I was going to use that for a test site to prove to people that because, for example, rap is going on, right?
What?
You like rap
Oh,
music?
rap? No, not really.
Because everybody's tuned into it, because everybody into it enhances it.
Yeah.
See? And that's why people, you can't get rid of it now, like a disease. And that's the reason why music always has been that way, that everybody's tuned in. So I think a group called Boys to Men, and then Mariah Carey had hit after hit and after hit and after hit.
Mariah Carey.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they had a station that played the music in that zone, right? And I listened for 2 weeks. Then they play one song at all by Mariah Carey, and they play one song to the Boys to Men, because everybody's not tuned into it. If everybody was tuning into it, it enhances it. And that's why rap doesn't go away, because everybody is enhanced by that. Oh, okay, it makes it feel, because everybody's listening to it, makes it more stand out, and if it wasn't, say. And that's a proven point that I was going to get a bunch of people together and have them in a place away from everybody. For one thing, you keep your distance, from the belief that everybody's mind is part of it. And then I was going to have them all earplugs, or they can't hear anything. And I was going to play 5 songs, and say, okay, have a group of people, or one person, or something like that, and then all the people surrounding them will be listening to a song, and then the 5 songs are played, and I'll say, which one stands out the most?
Yeah.
Because they're all listening to that song will stand out the most. So the farther you're away from everybody, the bigger reading I'll get. But if you go to a place with the ratings, you'll probably be just like a little bit more, stand out just a little bit, not more on all those phones that they tell that was playing, just to prove that the mental connection is about this existence exists.
Don't spill your beer.
And it fits everything from beginning, everything in the Bible from beginning to end. Mary Baker Eddy too, the Christian Scientist. She had the same effect. She had the power to heal and all that. Not what she knew, but all the reflections around her. Boston gave her power to do that. See.
Tell me your theory of. Tell me what you think about the Big Bang Theory again. You don't believe in that, right?
What, the Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
What do you mean by Big Bang?
Where everything started from one point like 14 billion years ago.
It's impossible.
Well.
Hey, why is it impossible? Because they found a piece of space out there. There was nothing in existence there at all. Oh, what's there? And they blew it up, right? And you know what they found in that little piece of existence that they blew up? More than 10,000 galaxies.
Huh.
Yeah, so how can you put, and then that's just one straw. If you put the straws around in every other space, 10,000 galaxies, and then you put the empty space on there and did the same thing, you will find yourself 100 million galaxies. Now, how can you put all that stuff in one spot?
Yeah, I don't really.
You can't. See, that's it. It's
I
always
don't understand
exists.
it either.
What?
I don't understand it either.
Yeah. So it doesn't really exist. So the whole Big Bang Theory is a bunch of crapple. Okay? There was no beginning. There's no end. Just, it goes on forever and ever. No, the ever
Well,
present now. The now is a now. And there's no, like light has time to travel, right?
yeah.
Now it doesn't. Now it's the same now. So you go, all those galaxies, the second time you blew it up and there'd be 100,000 galaxies, you go up to one of those and it's the same now. It's now there.
So time has no meaning.
Yeah, time is just, it varies between what we all believe in a certain area. You know.
So we can change time by thinking about it differently.
No, Elvis, the whole time is just each place is differently about that. Even the speed of light is a bunch of people went through a space, and a bunch of people in this area speed that knew that it could vary and speed up between different slots. It
Yeah.
depends on what everybody believes in. No. Now, if you're the only one on this whole planet, for example, this would be your dream. And then I come along, hi. Now we have to share the dream. And the farther apart we get, the more individual of the dream to control. And the closer we get,
Yeah.
the more we have to share it.
So that ties in with your theory you were saying one time where if everybody had the same thought, you could actually like physically move a mountain. If everybody would think it at the same time.
Now, I don't know, maybe some things I told you back there could be, I don't know.
Yeah.
I improved a lot of things quite a bit since then,
Yeah,
right?
because that's like 20 years ago or something. You were saying
Oh, yeah,
if
I couldn't have
everybody
thought
on
about
Earth would
that.
have the same idea that Mount Vesuvius could get moved over 20 miles, then you could do it.
Well,
Yeah, maybe not.
well, if those 20 people were the only place on this one planet,
Mhm.
and they all got together, maybe so, But when is it? But that's it doesn't really mean anything to do that. I think all these people that people think that the things that really big are Southern Baptists, what they believe, that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Crapple, there's no Son of God. In fact, there's no God at all, in a sense. There's just this existence and ever present now, and what we all believe. She went to some other space out in space, right? And what they believe, you're subject to what they believe in a dream. This is nothing but a dream that we live in. We have to share it. And distance makes it count. Numbers make it count. And then, like Moses had the most. God, you realize how many Jewish people were enslaved there?
Yeah.
And so he had the most power. No one else has ever did anything like part the sea. And that's, they called it the rain, they called it all type of other thing. But that's one thing, it wasn't a normal, you know. It doesn't normal, like a rain is a normal thing. But what he did was unnormal. It stands out by itself, when else
So
can
so you're saying that our whole existence is a dream, and so if there's nobody left to dream anymore, then is there no existence?
why would anybody have resistance? Just be a big nothing,
Yeah.
But the now still be now, though. See, And if you popped up, if you went someplace out there, and if you was the only one on this whole planet, right? This would be your dream, and everything you thought we would have control over it. And then when two people come by, you have to share it. So, Adam and Eve, for example, and then and then from there, it goes out.
So if you have to share it with 1,000,000 people, it's diluted
No, yeah,
down to 1,000,000th per
you just
person.
one part of that. The distance, though, you got to think of that too. It's all the people live on that side of the planet, and if you is out in the woods out there by yourself on the opposite side, you have the freedom of having your own individuality more so than against away from the group. But when you get together with a group, then you're subject to what they believe.
So are you going to write this all down?
Yeah, I want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it make any sense to you at all? Anyway.
Well, yeah, I can kind of follow it.
yeah, that's the thing. It's hard to pitch the whole thing, but you have to. It has to fit into everything, its existence. Basically, you want to override it so people could knock off these giant sicknesses. Everybody breathes into it, and then you're enslaved to it because you have to get shots all the time. And that's just And then here's the thing that gets me is it has one person did this, got snake bit. Okay, so they put her on a plane and flew her up to a hospital that gave her a shot. You know how much they charged her?
No.
$385,000.
What? When did this happen?
Some time ago. And now,
Hmm.
back then, today, the price of that would probably be 4 times as much. You're bankrupt.
Yeah, well, that's
How can you
saying
pay
that.
for that? You know what I mean?
I know
The whole thing is insane. The whole medical thing.
the whole medical for
The whole
profits
thing, man,
crazy
can
now.
actually walk away from all that. But you can't be.
But as far as diseases go, just because you don't believe in a disease doesn't mean it can't kill you.
Yeah, visually, but it helps. But it
Yeah.
doesn't give you. Like look at my life. I have a medical record yet.
Yeah, your mom had what, heart issues, right?
Well, but there's age, you can't,
Hmm.
I can't, I can't rise above forever, This is beef of mankind is going to get me anyway, But still, I survived this long without, not one medical record whatsoever.
And you think that's because of the way you think about it?
And also being away from everybody.
Yeah.
See, that's it.
Yeah.
being away from everybody. My sister keeps saying, "Oh, I want you moving to town." No, that's the last thing I want to move to town. And you're close to all these people and all their beliefs, and then you're subject to it more. See that?
Yeah, but you think it's beliefs, whereas I would say it's being exposed to viruses and stuff from other people.
Say that again.
I think the reason you're so healthy out here by yourself is because you're not around the colds and viruses and stuff, so you don't catch anything from anybody.
Well, I catch it, but I have more control over it. If she lived out someplace all by yourself, away from everybody, and she understood this, yeah, you'd be you live a long time,
Maybe.
But she lived in the middle of the city, and everybody's beliefs, and then it's like help.
Although I don't go out very much, I hardly ever go to bars or anything, and even though we're in a city, I'm mostly at home all the time.
So do you get sick a lot?
No,
That's probably why, because you're not with the
I don't think I do.
much.
Yeah, but you think it's more to do with beliefs?
Yeah, yeah, but you have to see the whole thing to get the picture of it. And if you pick everything in the Bible from the beginning to end, the thing still fits everything through the whole thing. Like for example, the God, people, the way the Jewish people, not the Jewish, but all the different religions, because we're all separated in our religion, makes it bad too, because there's all different type of religions, but some Baptists are some of the worst, and Catholics, God, yeah. and but how to explain that to you, so you kind of get a picture now more what I understand.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that all kind of standard Christian Science beliefs?
It's fading away.
Yeah.
Because they believe that Bible, and they think that Mary Baker Eddy had special power like everybody else did. She did. That's what the people at that time believed, that she gave her the power to do that. And now she's gone.
Yeah, she's long gone.
In addition, being a Christian Scientist, living in a city doesn't mean crap. You know what I mean? The same sets the same picture. You got your sleeping dream, and you got your awakened dream. Sleeping dream, you're all by yourself, right? And you can control anything that happens. Unless you pass out, and then you get a one where you can do fly and all that. And if you die, that's your next place of existence. There's no end to the now. You know what I mean? The now is now. Right now, this is now here. And then how far you go out in any direction, it's the same now. There's no variation, like light.
So what do you think happens when you die?
when you die.
Yeah.
There's some things that could happen too. I think one way it could happen, for example, well, I was trying to make a strobe light, right?
What?
I was trying to make a strobe light once, right?
Yeah.
Then I had my amplifier and a power supply, right? I turned off the power, but I forgot to discharge my capacitors. And next minute, I find myself waking up on the floor. You know what I mean? So I think in situations like that, I think if I would have died, I think I would come back and get reborn.
Mm.
Okay, it's not like if you're in a dream, like and if you pass out like and you're halfway dead anyway because you pass out, and then if you wake up from that, and then you go back, and then that part of the dream is dissolved, and if you do that again, you get a new one, what I mean? And then if you die, you continue on in that dream.
So there's really no end.
Uh,
Yeah. Huh.
so
Yeah.
it's so massive going out, and when you stop and think of how many places to go, one little empty space they blew it up by side of a red drinking straw, and they found more than 10,000 galaxies.
When did they do this?
Not too long ago.
Yeah.
So you stop and think that how many red straws can you put up there now? To
I
fill up.
think I know what you're talking about. I thought that was just a theory.
No,
The
no, it's
theory about
actually
the galaxies.
they actually did that. They found an empty spot and they said there's nothing there, and so they got the side of a red straw, drinking straw, and they blew that up. And there was more than 10,000 galaxies in that was space, of that one straw. So you figure if you take that one straw and fill up the whole sphere, how many stars, how many people, how many galaxies is that? You know what I mean? And then if you took that little space on there and blew it up, on that empty, and again, you probably find 100,000 galaxies. So how can you put, how many places can you go live now, right?
What do you mean?
All those galaxies and stuff.
Oh, that way. Yeah.
And each galaxy has how many stars? Yeah, one
Yeah.
galaxy has how many stars?
Yeah. Probably
We can't
millions.
even see our galaxy because it's covered up. But we can't see the center of our galaxy
Huh.
because there's clouds that cover it all in, and so the whole thing fixed together like a nice like a glove. And people just get to realize that, and we can all of us can rise up all the sickness and stuff like that. And we can hospitals can be made in places where people can live. You know what I mean? but we can only do it together. I can't do it alone. I don't have the power. No one has the power to do it alone. I'm not God. There's nothing the God. You know, the people are just a conception of the Catholics. And the Baptists is just like the Catholics. And he
Yeah.
said, oh, Jesus died for your head. No, died for your side. You realize how many other people got hung up and died at the same time? Why don't they get any credit?
No, that's true. I was just reading something about all they crucified people back then. They'd like do 100 people at a time.
Yep, yeah. So they probably all hang them up until they die,
Yeah, and
on
I
the
said what
crosses.
sometimes they would just like there's one guy that was guilty in a neighborhood. They would just crucify everybody in the neighborhood just for the fun of it.
Yeah. So that's all one of the wrong things, But this thing, it kind of like I told you, it fits everything, and it's like and if everybody could realize this whole planet here could rise up above it, and then we'll all live much, much, much longer. You know what I mean?
So it's time to wrap it up.
Wrap it
Just
up
sum it up in one paragraph, your whole theory of life
by L10, yeah.
by L10.
But but there's all type of other things to it too, But it fits every part of if you go through the whole Bible, you know, each little part of the Bible, how about the place where people lived 900 years?
Yeah, I never really believed that.
They could because
Yeah.
a bunch of people together was away from everything else. They could, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing, and then, but a lot of stuff in the Bible is possible, and but of course, you
Yeah.
know how much is fabulous too. How true, how part is, for the whole thing. There's all type of fantasy in there too. People make stuff up, but not you don't really fit in there. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. I
yeah,
don't find very
no,
much of it believable.
the Christian faith is actually dying off. I'm probably the only member of the so the only reason I do it is it's the protection I still get from the First Amendment. You know, I keep it from that because the doctors that come in and preach, they want to make you force you to have they force you to see a doctor, and that I can't tolerate that. Because that would be
Yeah, I don't think anybody'd force you. You
you
don't
don't
have.
support that being that.
No, you don't have to go to a doctor if you don't want to. Nobody's gonna force.
Yeah, and that should stay that way. But
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are formed to
Yeah.
force everybody to see a doctor beyond your will.
Yeah.
So that's the
Oh.
thing to be protected. And so
Yeah.
that's why. So I'm just a
Okay.
Christian Science for the simple reason that it gives me that protection that they can't sit there and start forcing me to do this and this and that.
But like, if you broke your leg or something, you'd go to have it set, right?
Yeah. Oh, here's another thing to change the subject. Uh, uh,
Okay.
they're making it mandatory that anybody anything over $1,000, you have to do it by check.
For what?
Anything. If you buy
Uh.
something, the guy next door that I work for told me that.
Oh, you can't pay cash.
Yeah, anything over 1,000, you can't pay cash for it. And
You can
pass
do a
both,
check or you can do credit
you pass
card.
both houses, and
Yeah.
not one word was mentioned on the TV about to anybody of us. Shouldn't we be informed about that first?
Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
Then
I haven't heard
I
about
told
that.
my sister about that, and she never heard anything about that either. She was kind of really
Yeah.
shocked about that. You know, can't the public get to know that? And vote on it and
I'm
all
not
that.
even sure I believe that's true until I look it up.
Yeah, check it up. So I
I'll
want to know if
check
it's
into it.
true. This
Yeah.
guy just
Yeah.
fantasy line.
Because
So
you can hear stuff that's
I
not
can't believe
true.
it because they would have on TV right here. I would sit and be, I want to hear about that. It's completely past that. Well, even telling a person one thing about it doesn't make sense.
I think I got paid on a job not too long ago that was more than $2,000 in cash. Just for
Oh, you broke the law.
yeah.
I don't want that to happen, do you?
I just went to the bank and put it in my account.
Yeah, so that's the thing. There's all the other things about it too. I can't remember everything, but it's just the whole thing fits together like a glove. And everything that happens in the Bible, through life example. For example, if you lived out in the Pacific Ocean all by yourself on an island, you got a lot of freedom of what you believe because you're away from everybody. See?
It's the distance,
Yeah. And if you live right down in the middle of New York City, it's
not so
complete
much.
opposite. And that's
Yeah.
just people don't realize that. And if people realize that, then all the sickness we have today will all begin to live longer.
That's your theory.
Yeah, it's just that we all, but
Hmm.
there's other things too about. I can't remember earlier the detail about, but it fits everything from the beginning of the Bible through the whole Bible. And this has to fit every damn motive in there. The parting of the sea is the only thing that happened wasn't normally. And Moses got, not for what he knew, he had the biggest group of reflections ever.
What about
But then he
the
went off into, when he went off, the people came with it and followed him off to the wilderness. All the people didn't go with him, see. And then he went up there on the hill, and here he is by himself, trying to make up the Ten Commandments. No, you need reflections to help you do that. You need to do that, and they came back there, and so the Ten Commandments. Some of them okay, some of them.
yeah, that's my opinion too. Some of them make sense.
Because he wasn't with the masses for the to do that. See, so they don't see all that. See, no one sees any of that. And so that's why they don't respond.
What do you think about the whole flood thing in Noah's Ark and all that?
What?
Do you think that happened?
Probably just one area.
Yeah.
The whole thing done for the whole earth, you know.
Yeah.
Until everybody became fearful of it, and a group of people, and that caused it to happen. See,
Huh.
and just a few of the people themselves, you know, and it caused it to happen in one spot. But then it didn't take the whole earth as a flood. I think they still have that ark stuck in the water up there. They protect it, they don't want anybody to find it.
I think so.
So,
Well, that's 30 minutes. We're gonna wrap it up. I'm
okay.
gonna show your place where we're hanging out here today. It's pretty cool in here.
Okay. Tell me what she thinks about this opinion on
Yeah.
that, you know.
Okay.
What religion is she? Catholic?
Baptist.
Huh?
Baptist.
Oh, that's the worst. You know, that's it, yeah.